Hi, and welcome to this practice. This practice is all about the hip flexors, and in particular, your deepest hip flexor, the psoas muscle, that actually interdigitates or shares its connections with your diaphragm or your breathing muscle. And so what we're going to look at, as well as, the whole group of hip flexors, which run along the front of the thigh and into the front of the hip, we're also going to look at that connection to the breath, and in particular, this kind of open scissors position that we often find ourselves in. So I'm going to ask you to kind of visualize that you have this golden orb or sphere that's all the way around your abdomen. I like to think of it as like a lava ball or a lava lamp, that kind of, gelatinous kind of consistency. And so when I open the ribs, I'm going to be stretching that sphere. And also what's happening is I'm compressing it in the back. Whereas when I'm bringing the ribs a little bit more down, the back ribs up, then that sphere is going to be a little bit more of a, like a basketball shape as opposed to an oblong. So if I keep saying, what's your sphere doing? What's this spherical lava lamp doing in your belly? Really paying attention to whether it's become like a rugby ball or if it's still more of a basketball with equal distance and equal shape all the way around. All right, so grab your blocks and just have them handy to the sides of your mat. Lay yourself down on your back to start with, and start by taking your legs out long so that you can take a little check-in and see how is that ball sitting right now. So for some of us, the lower back will arch away from the floor, which means the back of the ball will be quite compressed and the front of the ball will be more of that oblong shape. So just notice what your sphere is looking like, your lava lamp. And then bend your knees and again, take a little check-in. Has that lava lamp changed? Is it still an oblong or has it become more spherical? And then see if you can elongate the lava lamp in the front. So in other words, you'll press your tailbone and arch your low back away from the floor. And then what happens if you compress it in the front? Can you bring the ribs a little bit more towards the pelvis? And then go back into making it an oblong, so feeling tailbone pressed down, low back arches away, and then as you exhale, it becomes more of that golden, or that, orb like the sun. And then one more, breathing in. Feel how it elongates. And then exhale, letting it return to a more circular shape. And then finding that resting position. Take your right hand behind your head, your left leg out long. Now press out through your heel, press down through your right elbow. See if you can make that spherical shape more oblong. Really arch your low back away from the floor. And then think of this movement coming from that shape, really trying to draw that shape in so it becomes more of a globe. As you draw the left knee in, and right elbow comes across towards the right knee. Then foot finds the floor, start to extend the heel away from you. Press into the right elbow, make that oblong shape again through the belly. Lower back arches, and the exhale, you start to bring that ball back together, elbow comes across to the knee. Foot comes to the floor, slide the leg out long, press through the elbow, press out through your left heel, arch. And the exhale slides the leg in. Feel the ribs come across to the pelvis. Good, one more. Extend the leg out long, push through the heel. Press through your right elbow, feel the low back arch. And then as you exhale, slide that leg back to your bridge position and take a little check-in. Has anything changed in the orientation of that globe? Maybe the lower back, the leg. Then bring your left hand behind the head. Extend your right leg out long. Push out through the heel, arch away from the floor. Press your left elbow down. And then start to draw the ribs towards the pelvis, creating that lava lamp ball. Elbow comes across to the knee. knee to elbow. Foot finds the floor, start to slide it out long. Notice the sensation of your mat as you press out along the leg. Arch your low back, press the left elbow. And then exhale, you start to draw everything in, feeling your ribs come across to the pelvis. Foot finds the floor, feel it slide along the floor and all the way out. Push out through the heel. Left elbow presses to the floor. And the exhale draws the leg back in. Elbow comes across to the knee. Good. One more. Foot to the floor. Slide the leg out long. Push out through the heel. And then legs back to that bridge position. Arms alongside you. Take a little chicken. And slide your left leg out long now. This time, roll onto the outer edge of your foot so your knee will start to open towards the side. And as you exhale, draw the knee in and all the way over to your long leg. Squeeze the inner thigh. The breath in takes the leg out. Notice how it feels through the inner thigh. And as you exhale, feel how the foot rolls on the earth to bring you across to the big toe side. And breathing in, taking the leg out. So we're starting to release some of these muscles and the deep held tension within the pelvic floor and the muscles that interdigitate with those muscles of the pelvic floor. The pelvic floor also really important in breathing and finding a nice relaxed breath. Good. Crossing the center line, squeeze inner thighs. And then this next time that the knee opens to the side and you're on the outside of the foot, slide the leg out long and take a little check in from side to side. Has anything changed in the orientation of the leg, the orientation of your low back and the floor? And there's these moments that we take just to notice, to tune our awareness to our body, helping develop interoception, which also helps to quiet and calm the nervous system. That becomes really important when we want to relax the breath, relax the breathing muscle, the diaphragm, but also the psoas, that deep hip flexor. Slide your left leg in and stand it on the floor. And then start to roll onto the outer edge of the foot as you breathe in, knee opens. As you exhale, roll all the way to the big toe side of the foot, the knee closes. Breath in, rolling to the outside of the foot. Notice how the foot rolls on the ground. Notice that connection between your foot, your ankle, your knee, and your hip. And then close all the way. And just do this a few more times with your breath. Just trying to make it as mindful as you can. Noticing the movement. Noticing where it might get jittery or jumpy, or where the breath gets a little bit strained. And finding as much relaxation in this movement as you can. And next time that the leg opens to the side, you can slide that leg out long and again take a little check-in with the sides of the body. Notice the lower back and its relationship to the floor. Then slide your knees in, stack them over your hips, and place one hand around the right knee and the left hand on the front of the left thigh. Now your right hand is going to pull and your left hand is going to push, but your legs are going to resist as you push and pull the legs. And then switch over. Left arm is going to pull, right arm is going to push, and your legs are resisting. Then switch over. Right hand pulls, left hand pushes. And switch over. Good. Keep going with this. Try and keep your lower back in contact with the floor. And you don't have to go very far with your legs. As you can see, mine aren't moving past one another very much. But what I'm trying to find is really good intrinsic force. So really resisting in both directions. Good. Last one. And then place your feet on the floor. And locate your blocks. Now you can either do this with 1 or 2 blocks. I quite like to lift my hips and slide 2 blocks underneath, so I've got a wider base of support. You're welcome to go onto the lower height of the block though, in which case you might not need to. Make sure your pelvis is firmly supported by the blocks. Draw your knees in and then come back to that lava ball in your belly. Feel it come more into a globe-like shape again. And draw your right knee in, hug it in with the hands. Take your left leg up to the sky. Keep that globe at the belly and slowly start to take your left leg down. Find that point where you feel a little bit of resistance, maybe in the front of the thigh, or you feel like your globe is going to become more of an oblong. And then at that point, imagine you've got maybe 10 kilos on your leg, and you're going to slowly try and draw the leg down about 10 centimeters and then up about 10 centimeters. So really slow, controlled pulse of the leg. You can focus on the back of the leg, the glutes and the hamstrings, pulling the leg down. And just all the while thinking about the leg being 10 kilos more than what it is. So you're adding a little bit of resistance to this movement with your own intrinsic force. Go 3 more. So we're starting to eccentrically lengthen the psoas muscle, which connects right up onto your spine, around about where your belly button is. Go draw that leg in. Switch sides. Left leg pulls in nice and tight. Recreate that globe at the belly. Right leg to the sky. Lower the leg down to that point where you feel a bit of resistance in the front of the hip, or that your globe will become an oblong. And then imagine your leg weighs 10 kilos more as you pull it down and up. And remember that little pulse is about 10 centimeters, so you don't have to move very far. Again, it's about the kind of quality and the intention behind the movements. We're not just kind of blasé pulsing the leg. We're really thinking about the back of the leg pulling down and that globe shape staying at the belly. Good, 1 more. And draw the knees in, both feet to the floor. Just take a breath. And then lift your hips up, slide the blocks out, lower your hips to the floor. Take a gentle windshield wiper from side to side just to release that little bit of bridge. Let that windshield wiper take you onto one side and up to your kneeling position. And then just bring your blocks to the top of your mat. Now thinking about that globe in your belly again, create cat-cow, but thinking about the globe. So start to elongate your globe. You'll feel the back kind of compress. And then as you draw the ribs towards the pelvis and you compress the front of your globe, elongate the back of your globe, draw your right knee towards your right tricep. And do that again. Elongate the front of the globe, compress in the back. And then as you elongate the back, the left knee comes to the left tricep. Inhale. Elongate the globe. And exhale, compress it, drawing the right knee to the armpit. Inhale. Exhale, left knee, left armpit. Inhale. Exhale, right knee, right armpit, and step outside your hand. This is where you might want the block just to raise the floor a little. You're going to send your hips forward, that right knee as far forward as you can. Lift your chest. Then keep the toes on the floor, round your spine. Find a rounding as you send the hips back, toes stay down. Come forward, elongate your globe, make it an oblong. And then compress the globe as you round. Good. Send the hips forward. Lift your chest. And then round. Feel that globe shape compress. 1 more. And then stay forward in your dragon position. So your knee is far forward over the ankle as feels comfortable. And then see if you can find that cat-cow position again. And notice in the slightly deeper lunge, is it a little bit harder to find that? Good, and then elongate the spine a little. Push into the block. See if you can compress your globe just so that you've got that spherical shape again. Press into the top of your back foot and begin to lift and lower the knee. So often when we start to do this, we'll start to create an oblong with the front, the globe again, the lava lamp. So seeing if you can maintain that spherical shape as you lift and lower the back knee. Good, let's do one more. And then send your hips back. Reach your arms up, catch your left wrist, send the tailbone forward, and again, find that compression or that globe-like shape in the belly. Take a side bend over to the right, and then begin to send the whole shape back. So the globe doesn't change, you just straighten out the front leg, and then come forward. Try that again, send the whole shape back, keep the side bend, and then forward. Whole shape goes back. And forward one more time. Whole shape back. Keep the globe. And then come back. Take a moment to find your balance and then see if you can lift that right leg away from the floor. A little bit of hip proprioception. Plant the foot down. Send your hips back. Half split position. Again, you're welcome to put your hands on the block or your fingertips on the floor. Press down through the heel, try and drag the heel back. Feel that action light up the back of the leg. And then stay in this forward fold, but try and lift and lower your leg. And notice those muscles in the front of the hip flexors that have to contract to lift the leg up. You know, maybe they don't lift, maybe you just get a cramping sensation. It's all good. One more. Go shift forward, plant your hands, step back, plank position. Find your globe, make it a spherical globe front to back. If you need to, lower the knees to the floor. Otherwise, slow lower to your belly. Once you get to your belly, take your fingertips out and off your mat. Press into the fingertips and lift up just a little bit, not too much. Again, find that globe position in the front belly. So we're not kind of opening and elongating and compressing the back. We're really trying to find this back bend with a little bit more elongation through the spine. Good, release down and press back. Tabletop. Make your lava lamp an oblong as you inhale. And then compress that lava lamp. As you exhale, left knee comes to your shoulder. Step the foot outside the hands. Start with a little bit of shifting forwards and back. Again, finding your globe in your half split position. And really thinking about it elongating as you come forward and then compressing more into that spherical shape as you move back into your half split, foot down. Good, and then shift forward. Again, you might want the hands on a block for this. Find that shape in the front. So in other words, the ribs are coming towards the pelvis a little bit more. Then press down through the back foot and try and lift and lower the back knee. And as you lift and lower the back knee, can you keep that awareness on your globe in the belly? Good, and then shift the weight back, reach the arms up, catch your right wrist. Take a moment to find that globe in the belly again, side bend over to the left. Then send the whole shape back as you straighten the front leg. And bring yourself forward. Whole shape back, straighten the front leg. And bring yourself forward. Good, do that a couple more times. Really pay attention to maintaining that awareness of the front body. Tailbone scoops forward. Good, come back, lift your torso, lift the left leg away from the floor, find a little balance. Be playful. Good. Plant the foot down, send your hips back, find your half split position. Take a moment to press down through the heel and try and drag the foot back. Feel the back of the leg really light up. Notice your globe. Is it oblong or spherical? And then see if you can kick this leg away from the floor, finding a lift off. And how long can you hold that leg up? Good, one more. Shift the weight forward, plant the hands, step back, plank position. Pull the feet to hands towards each other. If you need to, knees to the floor, slow lower to your belly. Untuck the toes, keep the hands by the ribs this time. Press the pelvis down and find that globe in the belly. See if you can keep the globe front and back body as you lift up. So rather than compressing the back body again, we're finding length. Exhale, release down. Press back, downward facing dog. And then take a moment in this down dog to do whatever you like. This is the only down dog in this practice. So if you want to shake out your head, if you want to go for a little pedal, do what you'd like to do. Make this down dog your own. And then walk your hands to the back of your mat, finding your dangle stretch. So grabbing opposite elbows, give your head a good shake out. And then feel like both legs are trying to kick forward. So obviously they're not going to because of the shape that you're in. But can you access that sense of wanting to kick your feet forward? And release your hands and slowly roll on up to stand. And bring the feet a little closer just to narrow your base of support. Notice your feet. Notice the position of your ribs. Where is your globe? Maybe you need to bring the ribs down a little. Draw your right knee to your chest and press your hands onto the top of the thigh. Thigh presses back. And find equal and opposite force. So it really lights up the hip flexors. You might even feel your core alive. Good, and then change your hands to the front of the knee and draw the knee in as tight as you can. You might need to take it out to the side just to bypass any compression at the front of the hip. And then see if you can keep the leg there. What muscles do you need to activate to keep it there while you take away the hands? Extend the leg out forward. Imagine a big puddle in front of you. Take a big step over that puddle. Reach the arms up, catch your left wrist, and then reacquaint with that globe in the front body. You might have to soften your back knee quite a bit to do that. Take a side bend over to the right. Slowly lower your knee towards the earth. The exhale comes back up. Good, slowly lower all the way down. Press the earth away as you come up. Now again, keep reacquainting with that globe. Notice as you go down, maybe the ribs want to flare. Maybe the tailbone wants to pop back. Good, lift your chest up. Dive yourself forward over that straight right leg and bring your hands onto the block. Now press your hands into the block and see if you can kick this right leg away from the floor. And again, it might not lift up very much or at all, but can you access those muscles in the front of the hip to do that? Good, one more. Move the block out of the way, step back and lower to your belly. Catch hold of your right foot with your hand and heavy your pelvis to the floor. Keep heavying your pelvis to the floor. See if you can lift just the right knee away from the floor. Notice that stretch sensation in the front of the hip, the thigh. Keep heavying the pelvis, tailbone down. Good, release the leg. Press up to your knees. And then bring your left hand onto your waist. Reach your right arm to the sky. Now reach up as if you want to touch the ceiling and spiral to the left and look back at your left foot.
So it's a really upright, asymmetrical camel. Keep thinking about that globe in the belly and reaching for the sky.
Good. Rotate back to face forward. Right hand to the butt, left arm goes high. Reach up as much as you can and spiral around to the right. Look at your right foot. Notice if you've lost that sensation or that feeling of your globe in the front. Good. Rotate back to face forward, hands to the floor. Tuck your toes and come into a little squat at the back of the mat. Fold over your legs, dangle, stretch. And recreate that action of trying to kick your legs towards your face. Release your hands and slowly roll on up to stand. Bring your left knee to your chest. Press down with your hands on the knee and up with your thigh. Really light up the front of the hip. So we're isometrically working these muscles, which turns on more of the motor units, particularly if you really go for, maximum safest effort. Good, and then take your hands around the front, pull your knee up and out to the side. Notice if you started to flare open your globe in the front, can you maintain that sense front to back? Keep the leg where it is, let go. Extend the leg forward, imagine that big puddle and take a big step over it. Reach the arms up, catch your right wrist, reacquaint with your globe in the front and side bend to the left. Then slowly lower your knee towards the earth. Press and rise back up. Good, 3 more. Move with your breath. Notice what breath you're moving on. Notice how you're coordinating this movement to find stability through the legs, through the breath, through the body. Nice, and then lift your torso, straighten the leg and fold out over the leg, pyramid variation. Hands come onto the block. And try to lift this left leg away from the floor. So you're kicking it forward, trying to lift it up. Notice where you feel that. Good, and then bend the knee, move the block out of the way, step back, plank position. Pull feet and hands towards each other and slowly lower to your belly. This time catch hold of your left foot with your left hand. Heavy your pelvis to the floor. Begin to try and lift your knee away from the floor. So it's not bow pose, we're literally just finding a quad stretch. So to do that, you have to maintain that sense of your globe and really heavy the pelvis. Release the foot, press back by your knees. This time, left hand goes to the butt. Circle the right arm over the head as you look back at your left foot. So a little bit deeper into our asymmetrical camel, but still have that awareness of your globe. Notice if you've just popped your balloon. Circle the hand back around, right hand to your waist, left arm goes by the ear, reach back and up. Look at your foot. Have you still got that spherical globe? Good, rotate back to face forward, tuck your toes and come into toe squat back of the mat. This time drive your heels to the floor, come to chair pose, Utkatasana. Feel like you're pulling the earth towards you. As you pull the earth towards you, does it sit you a little deeper? Now bring awareness to your globe. Has it oblonged? Has it popped? Can you bring the ribs back in relation to the pelvis? Pour the weight into your left foot, right knee comes to your chest. Either hang on to the back of the knee or peace fingers can go around the big toe to extend the heel forward. Take the leg out to the side, and if you're holding onto the back of the knee, it looks like this, or you can keep the knee bent. And again, see if you can do this, imagining that you're not holding the leg. So what muscles do you need to activate to feel like you could let go? Bring the leg forward, let go, take that big step forward. Catch hold of your left wrist, find your globe in the front and side bend to the right. Slowly lower the knee towards the earth. Rise back up. See if you can lean back a little into that left leg as you lower. So it's going to load up that left leg even more. Rise on up. One more time. Eccentrically working the quads. Straighten out the torso, straighten out the front leg, fold. Place the left hand on the block, right arm is going to circle to the sky. Now feel like you want to kick that right foot away from the floor like we practiced earlier, but it's super glued down. Now bring awareness to your globe. Can you create that globe, that basketball shape, front and back body? How does that affect your twist? Soften into the knee, spin the back heel and open out Warrior Two. Now take a moment in this Warrior Two to notice, have you expanded? Can you bring awareness to your globe in the front? Then straighten out the front leg, hand to the thigh or the shin, left arm by the ear, Trikonasana. Bend into the front knee, come back, Warrior Two. Again, straighten out the leg, hand to the shin bone, top arm by the ear. Come back, Warrior Two. One more time, Trikonasana. This time we're going to stay. Try and press, again, this right leg as if it's trying to kick forward, but your right hand is trying to stop that from happening. Notice if you've lost that awareness of your globe. Can you bring that back to the forefront? Maybe you want to do a little rotation of the torso towards the floor and back open again. So just play. Maybe you stay still. Maybe you create a little twist. Notice as you twist, where do you feel that sensation travel? Rise on up, turn the back toes out, Skandasana, back of the mat. Finding the depth of Skandasana that feels good in your body. Doesn't have to be all the way down. The heel could lift if you need it to as well. And the hands to the floor, a little spider crawl forward. Plant your hands. Now this right knee is going to wing out to the side like gecko pose. If you need to, left knee comes to the floor. Otherwise, bend your elbows and lower the whole shape to the floor so the right leg lands for gecko. Then press into your hands. You can either stay on the hands or come to the forearm. Look around over your right shoulder and bend the left leg in. Now bring awareness back to your globe in the front. Can you make it more spherical? Notice what that does to the quad. And can you pull that left heel in a little tighter? And what happens if you look out of the corner of your eye a little further around to the right? Getting into that whole myofascial chain. Slowly release. Slide the leg back and press up to your knees. Come on to the tops of the feet this time. Again, bring that spherical globe back, pubic bone draws up. Reach your arms forward. Lean the whole shape back. Try not to pop your globe. Push through the feet to rise back up. So Z camel. Do the same thing again. Lean the whole shape back. Press into the feet. Rise back up. Two more. How far can you lean back before you lose that integrity of your globe? Rise back up. Last one. And up. Nice work. Hands to the floor. Whatever you need to rinse that through. Maybe it's a bit of cat-cow. Maybe it's a child's pose. And then find your way back to a little squat at the back of the mat. Drive down through your heels, rise to chair pose. Again, feel like you're pulling the earth towards you. Really sink the hips down. Drive down through your right foot this time, left knee to chest. Catch hold of the big toe or behind the knee. Extend your heel forward. Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana. Can you reacquaint with your spherical globe? Notice if you've flared your ribs at all. Open the knee out to the side, or the leg out to the side rather, and spiral your inner thigh up. Feel like you're doing this without holding the leg. Bring the leg forward. Let go and take a big step forward. Reach the arms up, catch your right wrist. Reacquaint with your lava lamp. Side bend to the left. Slow lower of the knee towards the floor. Remember to try and lean back a little. Rise back up. Again, slowly lower. Lean back as you lower. Rise back up. One more. Rise on up. Straighten out the torso, straighten out the leg, and fold over your leg. Right hand finds the block, left arm circles to the sky. Now feel like you're trying to kick that left leg forward and then bring awareness back to your globe. See if you can find that equal shape, front and back body. Notice what that does for your twist. Slowly bend the front knee, spin the back heel, open out warrior two. Take a moment to adjust your feet if you didn't quite land where you wanted, and press down and out through your feet. Reacquaint with your lava lamp, front and back. Then straighten the front leg, hand to the thigh or the shin bone as you reach all the way forward, Trikonasana. Bend into the front knee, warrior two. Straighten the front leg, Trikonasana, reach. Bend the front knee, warrior two. One more, straighten and reach. Pause here. Now you have the option to just stay as you are, or maybe you rotate the torso down and up. And as you decide what you're going to do, remember to keep the focus on trying to kick that left leg forward and maintaining your spherical lava lamp front and back. Good. Rise on up, turn the back toes, Skandasana, back of the mat. Find the shape that works for you. It might be a little bit higher. It's not so much about going all the way down, but maintaining that sense of your globe front and back. Then spider crawl forward along the mat. Plant your hands. Left leg's going to wing out to the side like gecko. And if you need to, right knee can come down. Otherwise, bend your elbows and lower the whole shape to the floor. Press through the hands, lift your chest. If you want, you can bring that right forearm to the floor. Look over your left shoulder and bend your right leg in. Now see if you can reacquaint with your globe in the front. Usually we would have flared the ribs by this point. So can you bring the ribs back down? Good. Release everything down, slide the leg back. Press back. Oops, press up to your knees rather. And then grab your blocks, or you can do it with feet on the floor as we did on the first round. Otherwise, your feet are going to be on the blocks. Same Z camel position though. So find your globe front and back, pubic bone up, tailbone down, arms reach forward. Lean the whole shape back, Z camel. Push through the feet, rise up. Whole shape leans back, Z camel. Push to rise back up. Whole shape leans back. Good, push to rise up. Notice if you're losing that spherical shape. One more. Rise on up, nice work. Kick the blocks out of the way. Again, whatever you need to rinse that through. Maybe it's a child's pose. Maybe it's something else. And then tuck your toes and come back to your toe squat, back of the mat. Ground your heels, rise, chair pose. Press the earth away, rise on up, right knee to chest. Now this time without the hands, kick the leg forward. Open the leg out to the side. Draw the leg back to face forward. Big step forward. Reach up, catch your left wrist. Find that globe in the front body. Side bend as you lower, tap the knee. Rise on up. One more. Can you lean back a little bit more as you lower? Good. Rise on up. Straighten out the leg. Straighten out the torso. Dive over the leg. Left hand to the block. Right arm circles to the sky. Stay for your breath in. As you exhale, bend the knee, open out, warrior two. Breath in. Exhale, Trikonasana. Maybe the hand on the shin bone, or maybe you reach forward, but keep that awareness of your globe. Back to warrior two. Trikonasana, maybe with the arms reaching. Warrior two. One more, Trikonasana. Rise on up, turn the back toes, Skandasana. This time, if you like, maybe play with a little kickstand crow. So hands come to the floor, knee comes high into your upper arms. Keep squeezing that knee onto the upper arms as you take the foot away from the floor. Right foot stays as your little kickstand. Lower the foot back down, spider crawl forward, and drop the left knee to the floor. Grab one of your blocks, and it's going to wedge against the back thigh, and you'll come onto the top of your left foot. So notice it's kind of on an angle on that back edge of the block. Press down into the foot, press down into the back thigh and into the block. Bring awareness to your lava lamp. Can you reacquaint with that? You might just stay there with your hands on the floor or on your block. If you can keep the pressure down into the back leg and keep that awareness on your lava lamp, maybe your hands come onto your thigh. If you can keep all of that awareness, maybe your hands come up. Careful that the ribs don't flare as your arms come up. And can you maintain that sense of pressing down with your left leg? It's really important because it's adding that little bit of isometric work while we're at the end range of the muscle. And that isometric work just helps to light up the muscle, turn on more motor units, and also allow for more range of motion. Good. Slowly release the hands. Drop your knee. Take hold of the blocks in your hands. Begin to slide your front leg forward towards Hanumanasana. You can slide one of the blocks underneath your front hip or thigh, or maybe you keep the hands on the blocks as you slide out. Once you've found your range, push down into your legs. So again, finding that isometric work at our end range or wherever that is for us. So not just kind of collapsing into the joints, but finding a little bit more active work. Very nice. Slowly slide the leg back in. Come to stand up on your knees for camel pose. Grab your blocks in your hands, and we're going to come into this first round with more of that focus on the basketball staying the same size front and back. So we're not going to compress at the back and oblong it at the front. So bring your hands onto your blocks, find that spherical shape, that lava lamp, and reach your blocks back. Lean the whole shape back like our camel and place your blocks down. Then as you start to push into the blocks, can you find equal length in the front and the back body? So it'll be a slightly different feeling in your camel. And as you do that, can you press down through your feet a little bit more? Lengthen out of your hips. I like to draw the shoulder blades towards the spine just to open the chest a little more. Good, and then rise on up. Set your hips down. Take a little moment just to check in. Notice what it was like to do the camel with a little bit more length, a little bit more uprightedness, rather than just that kind of collapsing and compression. Notice any sensations that are present. And maybe use your breath just to slow and steady and be with whatever sensations arise. And you're more than welcome to visualize the second side. Otherwise, tuck your toes and come into your toe squat back of the mat. Ground down through the heels and rise to your chair pose, pulling the earth towards you. Pull the weight to the right leg, left leg to chest. Extend the heel out and open the leg out to the side. Draw the leg back, big step forward. Reach the arms up, catch your right wrist, lean back a little and bring that awareness of your globe. Side bend as you lower the knee, tap it towards the floor. Rise back up. One more, lower. And lift. Straighten out the arms, straighten out the legs, dive forward. Right hand to the block, left arm circles. Parivrita Trikonasana. Breath in. Exhale, bend the knees, spin it open, warrior two. As you exhale, straighten the leg. You can either bring the hand to the leg or reach both arms forward. But remember, make it about that globe. Rise back up, warrior two. Exhale, Trikonasana. Warrior two. One more, Trikonasana. Rise on up, turn the back toes, Skandasana. Maybe the hands find the floor. You can bring that right knee high up into the armpit and try and pick the foot away from the floor as you lean into your fingertips. Plant the foot down, spider crawl forward and drop the right knee. Grab your block, wedge it against the thigh, so just above the knee, and turn the top of the foot down. Hands come onto your block just so that you can bring that awareness to your globe. Really find that action and find pushing into the block can help sometimes. Now once you've got that, push into that right leg and into the block. Maybe your hands crawl up onto the thigh. Maybe your hands come up to the sky. Watch when the arms go up because that's where you'll lose that connection to your basketball, your lava globe. Push really firmly down into the right foot and into the block. Good. Hands come back down. Carefully lower the knee. Take the blocks in your hands to slide your front leg forward towards Hanumanasana. Remember, you can put the block anywhere underneath this front thigh once you've found your edge. Once you're there, push down into the ground. So that pressure down will lift you a little bit out of the pose, but also, again, just wake up the muscles at that end range. So notice this class brought us to Hanuman, but we didn't do anything around the hamstrings like normal. And just noticing that there is a variety of ways that we can move towards things. A variety of ways our bodies can move. And I always love the quote by Moshe Feldenkrais that if you've only got one way of doing things, you're a rock. If you've got two ways, you're a light bulb. And if you've got multiple ways, then you're a human being. Carefully slide that leg back in, knees to the floor. So you can do the camel as we did before. You could do regular camel if that's calling to you. Otherwise, we're going to do camel with the hands at the chest. So same focus. Think of that ball, that spherical globe front and back. Press forward through the pelvis. And as you lift the thumbs towards your chest, the chest towards your thumbs, can you maintain length in the front and the back of your body as you find this camel position? So that length front and back, this creates a little bit more support, particularly in the back bend. We don't tend to just compress and crunch into the low back. Nice work. Lift all the way up, hips to heels. And again, just take a little moment checking in. You might like a little rotation side to side. It always feels quite nice. And then swing your legs out in front of you and give yourself a good cuddle. And pull yourself into a nice tight ball. So now we are contracting those hip flexors again at a shortened range. Send the breath into the back body. And just notice how you're feeling. Even though it's been quite some challenging poses, it's been quite a slow, steady pace to try and help really anchor the mind, calm the nervous system. You're going to do rolling like a ball, so you can stay as you are and visualize, or bring your hands to your knees, keep yourself nice and tight, and begin to rock and roll. And as you rock and roll, can you keep your knees really close in? And if you want, you can maybe take the arms away and see if you can rock and roll without letting the legs fly away from the chest. You could even imagine that you're squeezing a ball between your head and your knees. Good, one more. And then extend your right leg out long, grab the top of your left foot with your right hand, and either knee bent or leg straight, left arm reaches back behind you. You can stay with the right leg on the floor or lean back and maybe lift that right leg up. Play with a little balance. So again, we're contracting the hip flexors at a lengthened range again. Does it feel any different now? Plant the foot back to the floor, cross your left leg over the right, hug the knee and come into a twist. And just let the breath move into the back body. Keep that awareness of the front body lava ball. And slowing down each round of exhale. And come back to the center, release the leg. The leg comes in, catch hold of the top of the foot with your left hand, either knee bent or leg extended, right arm reaches back into your twist. You can stay with the left leg on the floor or lean back and lift the leg up. Good, leg comes down, right leg goes across, hug the knee in for your twist. Breathing into the back body. And keeping that awareness of your globe front and back. And release the leg, arms reach forward, legs reach forward. Slowly roll down onto your back. And take a moment when you land just to notice how is your body in contact with the floor now. Is it any different to when you began the practice? And bend up your knees, place your feet on the floor as wide as your mat, and take windshield wipers from side to side. Nice and slowly, feeling all of that motion, feeling the feet and how they contact the floor, feeling the pelvis as it rocks, noticing your breath. The next time that the knees fall to the right, you can keep them there. Option 1, you stay like that with your feet. Or option 2, maybe the right foot comes on top of the left thigh. Or right foot on the floor, left foot comes up and you tuck it in for that half saddle position. If you've taken those second or third options, bring awareness back to your globe. Bring that front body connection. Notice how that might intensify the stretch a little. And carefully release your left foot if you lifted it. Unstack the right foot if you took that option. And then take your knees over to the other side. So you might stay there. You might take that left foot on top of the right thigh. Or you could take the right foot by your hip and come onto the top of the foot. So if you're taking that half saddle position, the knee probably isn't going to be on the floor. But really pay attention to the lava lamp in front. Has it popped, or can you bring that awareness back in? Maybe even hands on the belly can help. And then release that foot. Bring both feet as wide as your mat and let your knees knock in towards each other. You can keep the arms alongside the body, or maybe one hand finds the chest and one hand finds the belly. And you could just do mindfulness of breath here. Otherwise, I'm going to invite a ladder breath. So we'll be inhaling for 5, exhaling for 5, and then we're going to increase 6, 7, and then 8. Okay, so full breath out. Inhale for 5. Exhale for 5. Inhale 6. Exhale 6. Inhale 7. Exhale 7. Inhale 8. Exhale 8. Inhale 7. Exhale 7. Inhale 6. Exhale 6. Inhale 5. Exhale 5. And then finding your way to your comfortable rest. That might be staying exactly as you are. It might be extending your legs out long, or lying on your side, or even on your belly. And just notice the quality of your breath now. Notice that feeling tone of your inner landscape, and has it shifted from when you started this practice? Notice if your lower back feels a little closer towards the floor. Maybe the legs a little more turned out or soft. Just noticing this practice, whilst there was the challenge within it, there's a lot about calming and steadying the nervous system, calming and steadying the body and the mind. Working on that relationship between our diaphragm, our muscles of flight and fight. And ultimately finding that place of stability with both the body and the mind. Let yourself rest here as long as you need to. And thank you so much for practicing with me. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Aroha mai, aroha atu.